Should you get Quest 3 or PSVR2? To make it super easy, I will talk about the features of Quest 3 and PSVR2 side by side so that by the end of this video, you'll have no doubt in your mind which VR headset is the right one for you. Let's get started. We will start with the thing we care about most, visual quality. The PlayStation VR2 is equipped with a 4K HDR OLED display, delivering a resolution of 2000 by 2040 pixels per eye. This provides a bright, vivid, and detailed visual experience. The advantage of using OLED technology is its ability to produce true blacks by turning off individual pixels. This results in striking contrast and a richer color palette. However, the PSVR2's Fresnel lenses can occasionally cause some issues. For example, light leakage and glare. Potentially, it can impact the overall clarity of the visuals. You can also notice that these lenses don't provide consistent sharpness across the entire visual field. Basically, there is a very small sweet spot and the image gets blurry very easily if the headset shifts on your head. You can also see a lot of blurriness on the edges. But on the upside, the PSVR2 boasts a 110-degree field of view. This can be further optimized with its adjustable visor, which allows users to bring the lenses closer for a more encompassing view. Coupled with a refresh rate of 120 Hz, the PSVR2 provides really fluid and immersive gameplay. But one other important shortcoming of PSVR2 is the presence of something called Mura, which is a visual irregularity that gives the screen a slightly grainy appearance, kind of like looking through a thin veil or a layer of dust, and that can be quite annoying for many VR users. On the other hand, Meta Quest 3 showcases a 4K plus infinite display with LCD technology, offering an impressive resolution of 2064 by 2208 pixels for each eye. LCDs generally offer very sharp images and crisp text, and indeed, the clarity of Quest 3 is amazing. However, LCD technology is different because unlike in PSVR2, not individual pixel is getting light up, but there's an actual backlight behind the panel, which can lead to some light bleeding from the screen's edges, and it can affect the depth of black levels. Speaking of lenses, contrary to the Fresnel lenses in PSVR2, the Quest 3 incorporates pancake lenses, which are designed for a streamlined VR experience and sharp visuals from corner to corner. One trade-off of this design is a slightly narrowed field of view at 110 degrees, which can be somewhat constrained due to the headset's larger facial interface. So actually, I was not that much impressed by the FOV of this headset, but the clarity and the sharpness, it's edge to edge, it's absolutely amazing. As for its refresh capabilities, the Quest 3 operates at 90 Hz, but it can be ramped up to 120 depending on the game, whether a game supports 120 Hz refresh or not. But no matter what headset you have, it is super important to know what to do if you ever need a repair on your headset. VR companies normally won't replace your headset if it gets physical damage, and it is a big problem. Things like physical damage, sun or water damage, and others are not usually covered by any warranty. But thankfully, there is a company called Fix My Oculus which can help you repair almost any VR headset for a fraction of its cost. Even though it has the word Oculus in the name, respect by the way, they actually can repair a wide variety of VR headsets, including PSVR2, Pimax models, and many others. Just give them a call and I'm sure that they will figure out how to help you. As for Quest 3, they've recently done a teardown and now are fully capable of providing repair services on it. It's actually pretty impressive, and you should watch their teardown video. If you give them a call, they can diagnose your issue for free and then you will ship the item to them. The shipping is free as well, and you don't have to pay for anything until the repair is completely done and they have fully tested the headset for you. They also offer free returns and a 30-day guarantee if your headset does not arrive working properly or is damaged in shipping even. Their prices are always reasonable and always lower than the cost of replacement of the headset. I'm so glad that they decided to partner with me on this video because I truly believe that they provide incredible value to the VR community. Bookmark their website and save their phone number. Hopefully you will never need it, and if there's ever any repair needed on your headset, the guys from Fix My Oculus are the 911 of VR. Next, you need to understand the different types of these two headsets. The Meta Quest 3 is a standalone VR headset. This means that you can use it on its own without needing to connect it to any other device, which makes it highly portable. Whether you're in your living room, bedroom, or even traveling, you can use it easily. Additionally, the Quest 3 offers PSVR connectivity, and that means that you can link it to a PC to access a broader range of VR games and experiences. Even better, it supports wireless PC VR with Wi-Fi 6E, making it super fast and allowing seamless experience without the constraints of cables. On the other hand, PSVR2 is a console-dependent VR system. It's specifically designed to work with the PlayStation console. Unlike the Quest 3, it is not portable. It can only work if it's connected to a PS5 with a cable. This also means that it relies on a wired connection, which can be limiting in terms of movement and play area. So if you're seeking a portable, versatile VR experience with the option to connect to a PC, the Meta Quest 3 stands out. However, if you're more inclined towards a dedicated console gaming experience and you don't mind tethered setup and you just want a quick plug and play, then PSVR 2 might be your go-to choice. There are some cool features that you are getting with PSVR 2. For example, eye tracking, which can be used in-game for menu selection, interacting with in-game characters, and even reacting to blinking. It also enables something called foveated rendering. This feature allows the headset to detect where the user is looking and render that area in top quality, while lowering the quality around it. This enables developers to access much more computational power from the headset than if it had to render the image of the entire display all the time. The eye tracking system is so quick and precise that users don't even notice the lower quality of the image on the periphery. This results in more efficient use of resources and smoother and more immersive experience. But Quest 3 users will get another feature, which is of course mixed reality. It's basically the ability to use this headset almost like AR glasses. There are so many games out there that augment virtual objects or experiences in the real world, basically blending the real and virtual worlds, literally making it a mixed reality experience. I have made 2 videos so far featuring the best mixed reality games on Quest 3, which you can find in the video description, and if this is something you find interesting, there's no better headset than Quest 3. However, I can't say that this headset lacks in fully immersive VR experiences, so even if you don't care for mixed reality, the visuals on Quest 3 are still outstanding, although it doesn't have eye tracking. One of the biggest pros of PSVR 2 is its awesome haptic feedback. Not only does it have controller vibrations, cool adaptive triggers that we all know and love from the DualShock controllers, but also the headset rumble, which adds a whole new level of immersion to VR gaming. So the headset literally vibrates according to some in-game events. There are so many cool ways in which developers can utilize these in-headset vibrations, and this truly makes PSVR 2 stand out among its competitors. And of course, if you're a first-person shooter lover, these adaptive triggers that work differently depending on the type of a gun you're using is a total game changer for VR immersion. Quest 3 haptics aren't that elaborate. No headset haptics and no adaptive triggers, but still pretty advanced feedback compared to Quest 2, even though some users report inconsistencies in the haptic feedback, especially noticeable in rhythm games. I haven't noticed anything like that, but it is worth keeping an eye on that. I also want to mention the battery. Since Quest 2 is a standalone headset, it relies on the built-in battery, which is not great. So far, I've been able to use it for about an hour and a half on a single charge, and that's considering I've mainly played mixed reality games, which are more demanding than just immersive virtual, and I was recording most of the time as a content creator. Regular users who don't record their gameplay might squeeze a bit more out of the battery life, especially if playing fully VR games, but still, this battery life is pretty disappointing. You won't have to worry about that with PSVR 2 though, because it's pretty much the only advantage of the cabled connection that it has. We can compare the battery lives of the controllers though, and the Quest 3 is a clear winner here. As bad as the headset battery is, I'm yet to run out of charge on my controllers, but that's because Quest 3 controllers require AA batteries, and those that came in the box still serve me well, even though it's been more than a month of intensive use, and there's still plenty of charge to go. PSVR 2 controllers have built-in batteries, and those elaborate haptics drain it super fast, so I would recommend charging it pretty much before every gaming session. That means that one day you probably will forget to charge it, and it will be annoying for you because you won't be able to play. When it comes to the gaming selection of Quest 3 and PSVR 2, here's what you need to know. The Meta Quest 3 has a huge collection of games, probably the biggest of any VR headset out right now. Users can play lots of games made just for Quest on the official store, and even sideload some games on SideQuest or mod their games. And they can also dive into many PC VR games on the Meta Store or on Steam VR. This gives gamers a lot of options to play. With its strong hardware, the Quest 3 3 is all set to get awesome games like Assassin's Creed Nexus and Asgard's Wrath 2, games so impressive and power-hungry that we couldn't have dreamt of playing those games on standalone headset. The visuals on Quest 3 have gotten so good that, for example, if you play Red Matter 2 on Quest 3 with the new visual upgrades, it looks so great that you can't really tell it apart from the PC VR version of this game. In contrast, the PSVR 2 operates within a more confined ecosystem. The headset is tailored exclusively for PlayStation VR 2 games. After Horizon came out when PSVR 2 launched, there haven't really been any big games since then. And that's made people wonder if Sony has abandoned PSVR 2, as many games are just Quest games released on PSVR 2. And we don't really get any exclusive titles which would take advantage of all the awesome capabilities of PSVR 2. It's quite a shame because we all have been looking forward to PSVR 2 and there's just not that many cool games to play that you can't already play on Quest. Finally, the price. PSVR 2 cost $550 plus you will need a PS5 for it to work, which is another $500. Quest 3 is $500 for 128GB version and $650 for 512GB. Note that even though Quest 3 is a standalone headset, you will still need a pretty beefy PC if you want to play PC VR games on it. That PC can cost anywhere from $1,000 upwards. Another thing to consider with Quest 3 is that most probably you will also need to invest in some accessories. While the original soft strap is not that bad, it is not nearly as comfortable as the PSVR 2 strap or some other third-party straps. And to buy a better plastic head strap, you will either need to go to the official store or buy a third-party ones. And if you buy a battery strap, which I definitely recommend, you will still spend even more money, and the official battery strap costs $130, which is pretty ridiculous. So even though PSVR 2 seems like a more expensive option overall, considering you need to buy a console, still a few things to consider here is what value you're getting for each of these headsets. Going back to the topic of games, PlayStation games are really pricey, and you will have literally no option other than those offered on the official PlayStation Store, and that selection is limited. With Quest 3, games tend to be a little cheaper, and you do get quite a few free options too, either on the official store or on SideQuest. Also, you can even download some game mods and play popular flat screen games in VR, which is awesome, and you definitely cannot do that on PSVR 2. Overall, I personally think that Quest 3 is a much better deal for the money, at least right now, even though the purchase of PSVR 2 totally makes sense if you already own PS5 console and want a simple plug-and-play experience without the hassle of setting up your PC to play VR games that are slightly more advanced than the standalone games. Which headset do you prefer? Make sure that you also check out my list of the best mixed reality games to try in Quest 3. I actually made 2 of those lists and the third one is coming very soon, so make sure to subscribe and hit that notification button, and see you in the next one.